Keep double checking that we're actually going. There we go. Hey, stream actually booted up. Let's go. You can never trust this anymore. At least I can't. Maybe you guys can, but I can't. That's my life. This wasn't supposed to be the thing I was going to stream today. But, long story short, I was wrong about everything. I thought this would be the week we would finally get a direct. No. But we are rumored to maybe get one next month. Don't know why they're waiting so long, but sure. I thought that there was going to be a Sonic Central like they usually do every year on Sonic's birthday. Nothing. Literally nothing. That's weird. And then there's a whole separate thing that I wanted to kind of be a surprise. But when I got my hands on it, the thing wouldn't work, and I'd be happy to go into more detail about that once we get going here for a little while. Because I am going to need stuff to talk about for this stream for a couple hours. Because I was not expecting to jump right back into Dudunsparce right now. I was not expecting that. I really wasn't. I was hoping it wouldn't be the case, and yet here we are. This is it. I could have been... I could have just chosen something off of Switch Online. Like, that could have worked. Maybe. You know, kind of like what happened with Kirby Tilt Ensemble. I'm sure there's something there I could play, and maybe I'll play something there tomorrow. But, nope. Didn't do that. Because I wasn't entirely sure what else to do, and I had nothing else set up. And I'm not really in the mood to start up a whole big new project that takes, like, 3 months. Like, Mario and Luigi took a lot longer than I expected because I was not expecting the end to be a bit extended out as far as it was. I was kind of at least hoping that some of that would be post-game, but no. None of it was, really. There is no post-game, I don't think. So, you know, maybe I should have figured that. Partners in Time didn't, but... Anyway, let's go ahead and get this sandwich ready to go. So, yeah, this is what we're doing this time. As much as I really don't want to. I have nothing else really prepared. So, 2 bitters. Oh, I have to put the tofu's on. See, I'm already messing it up. At least I don't have to put on the hamburgers, because that's one extra ingredient that doesn't come in instead of 3, and it kind of makes it a bit more lopsided, I guess. Alright. Smiling easy pick to celebrate the first day of the Eevee Grove expansion in TCG Pocket. Opened a 10-pack, and one of the cards I got was a shiny full art Zapdos EX. So that's fun. Also got a full art Eevee from it. Super cute. And this time for sure, this is gonna be the time. This upcoming season, I'm gonna make it to Master Rank this time. Like, I tried when the battle thing, the whole season thing first started, absolutely hated it, got brick walled and Ultra, and then barely played the last couple of seasons. I did not leave Great Ball. So I'm like, this isn't fun. I'm not having fun. But, like, you know what? They've discussed it on their social media. They've improved it. They don't freaking disable wind chain bonus points anymore. So, like, if I get a good streak, I know I'm not freaking one loss away from losing all my progress. So that's fun. I just wish they'd slow down with the expansions, because every expansion means they're adding another, like, 70 to 100 or so cards. And the problem with that is, it takes, like, 2 weeks for someone like me who doesn't put money into the game to get most of the Pokedex. I guess. Like, get most of the card decks. Which means I'm not gonna have the cards I need to realistically make at least a decent deck for the season until, like, halfway through. And by that point, all of the paid players have gotten their way up. They have all the best cards. They have the meta. And I'm just screwed. It's infuriating. And of course, the first season they brought in the freaking season stuff had to be when they did the Giratina Darkrai thing. And fun enough, that wasn't even my main issue during the first season. Like, it was an issue. And then I tried using it and it was absolutely fucking terribly, because apparently the meta means it's a free win. I thought meta meant, oh, it's a free win button. And that's how everyone describes it to me. But then I try to use it, I fuck it up, and don't win with it, and then I'm told, oh, it's not a free win button, it still takes a lot of hard work to pilot it. It's like, and that's not the meta. If it's super freaking hard to get a super busted result, then there's not meta OP things, you know? That's not meta or super OP, I don't get it. Maybe just because I don't do competitive shit, you know? Like, I tried doing competitive Pokemon for the stream before, and like, it fully resets your ranks and resets them, like, so I'm playing enough to get like 2 ranks, and I can't come above that because I suck at team building, and then it fully resets my progress in about a month. Great. Not touching this again. Like, your whole fucking life has to be devoted to it, I swear. It's stupid. Makes you think about how pissed I'm gonna be when we inevitably get a new Smash Bros. On the Switch 2, and I already said multiple times, when we get a Smash Bros. On the Switch 2, and you know it'll happen, like, I have to play it. I'm getting, I can't cast the controller head right through. But, like, I already told myself, I told all you guys, I'm gonna get Smash for Switch 2 whenever that happens. And it's not an if, it's a when, let's be honest here. I just don't know, dude. Like, if I can't even handle Pokemon, imagine trying to do Smash Bros. Stuff. Like, that's gonna be a nightmare. If I can't back down now, I'm already committed. I've already had way too many instances. I've had way too many instances where I promise something and then I can't freaking do anything with it. You know? I'm not backing out of this one. I can't. I'm not backing out of this obligation. I already said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the new Smash Bros. When it comes out, maybe a year or two. Because they are gonna make it. Like, they realize it's too much of a money maker. Like, yeah, Mario Kart was the #1, but I feel like Smash was 2 or 3 the entire Switch 1 lifespan. So, like, they're definitely gonna make a new one. And apparently, there's some rumor going around that Sakurai didn't want to make a new Smash Bros. And fair. But it sounds like you can't give up Smash Brothers. You can't do that. What about their money? Sakurai's like, fine, I'll do it, but only if I get to make something I want. And they agree, and that's why we got Kirby Air Riders. And like, I guess that makes sense, but at the same time, it's just a rumor. So I don't know. Let's face it, they probably don't know either. It's just plausible enough. But hey, at least if the rumor is true, we know confirmation that Sakurai did want to make a second Kirby Air Raid all this time. So yeah. And I promise I will actually sit down and play Smash for an extended period of time. Like, I might stream at least like the story mode. Like, yeah. Like, we've had Subspace Emissary, we've had World of Light. So like, there's probably going to be some single player thing, some single player campaign, right? Anyone? So of course I'm probably gonna end up playing that on stream. Like, I think there was something in Ultimate, like Elite Smash, which I guess is kind of like a rank up thing in of itself, and like individual characters getting put into it. It's weird. I don't understand it. I just know I see a lot of people on Twitter over the past years being like, I finally got Fox into Elite Smash. I did it. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know. Is that good? It sounds good. Back in my days, we didn't have an Elite Smash. We just smashed the cartridge into a console and started playing for fun. Brothers, that's not what you do to your brother. I'll stop. I'll stop. Why would just be smash him in the face with a hammer? That's not very nice. Why would Mario do that to Luigi? Okay, now I'll stop. Sorry. Alright. Anyway, I can't believe we didn't get a Direct this month, though. I mean, classic Nintendo move. You think you got it figured out, and then they're like, haha! We will change the formula immediately and keep you on your toes. It's like, oh, they got me again. Oh, they got me again with that one. It's like, man, everyone else did their big presentations. And like, Nintendo's did like a Donkey Kong Direct and also revealed a new Splatoon spin-off. Like, they're definitely gearing up for a Direct, it feels like a full general Direct. And nothing ever happens. I don't know. Again, it might be some sort of like, maybe a licensing issue, maybe? I don't know. Maybe there's like a trailer that wasn't quite finished there and needs some extra touch-ups. Oh. I didn't quite notice you were shiny at first. Hey, Vex, perfect timing. I got a shiny. First shiny of the day, baby. Perfect timing. Number go up. Brain go, yay! But, yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't actually do a Direct yet. There's no Direct this month, it seems like. Unless they add one in, like, right at the tail end of the month, but, like, that wouldn't make sense. Would it? Because today's the 26th, so Friday 27th, 28th, 29th. I guess the 30th is on a Monday this year? But, like, I can't even add, like, a pattern that's consistent with Nintendo anymore, with their Directs. So, like, they might put one on a Monday. Who knows? feels kind of weird, right? Because everyone else did their big summer presentations, and Nintendo kind of did something, because we had Donkey Kong and we had Splatoon Raiders. But then there was just, like, nothing. And it feels like they wanted to, but it just wasn't ready. So because of that, didn't do a direct reaction. Sega didn't do a Sonic Central on Sonic's birthday this year, so I didn't react to that. Because it doesn't exist. And that's a little disappointing. Because that was at least a pattern. That was at least like a true confirmed pattern. Unlike directs where they're all over the place. So, no Sonic Central reaction highlight thing. So, like, now what? I had another thing I wanted to do on stream. Because I found, like, this little, like, sort of novelty of a console thing that I thought was still kind of interesting in its own right. Finally got my hands on it. But then I tried to turn it on and it didn't work! And I've been trying to troubleshoot the damn thing for a few days now, and I'm like, this thing is so obscure, I can't find any info on it consistently. I'm willing to bet that nobody's watching this has ever freaking heard of it. I wanted to keep it kind of a surprise. It's like, hey, look at this weird thing. You can play Sudoku on it. But, there's this console that I'm now in possession of, I guess. That's part game console and part DVD player. Called the Game Wave. And I'm willing to bet that anyone who heard me say that just now are just staring at their screens like, the hell are you talking about? And granted, if you look up info online, right under the console itself, you'll find stuff like controllers for Nintendo Switch, people on GameFAQs complaining about Thunder Wave and Pokemon, some, like, ad campaign the game company did, I think. I didn't look into that at all. So Game Wave is kind of like a obscure little thing that happened during the Xbox 360 PS3 generation. And I'm not gonna really go into full detail of its backstory because I honestly don't fully remember it and I can't be super confident about it. I think I first discovered it by way of the YouTube recommended rabbit hole. We all understand this, where YouTube's like, hey, we want you to watch more videos. Here's this random thing that'll keep you up until like 5 in the morning as you watch more videos about it, because it's just so weird. So, I think I stumbled across it because I think like a VOD of the Retro Pals showed up in my recommended, where they were playing the Game Wave. It's like, at one point, I think it started with me looking up, like, DVD games. It's like, DVDs used to have little bonus features, like little games you could play, and they were really not much, per se, but, like, they were sure something. But I remember, like, the Retro Pals, like, played, like, Shrek Bingo on a stream once, and I think that's what I found on the YouTube search. And because of that, I was recommending another one of their streams, that being the Game Wave. And they go into a lot more detail about the backstory of the thing, and I don't want to mention it here, because I think you should just watch their thought about it, because it is just a weird little oddity. To sum it up, small company in Canada's like, hey, what if we make a DVD player that could also play games? To kind of hit a more casual market. And they did, but it got stuck in development hell for ages. Came out way too late, with way too cheap of parts, let's face it. Sold like shit, even after they launched it in Canada and the United States. It got discontinued within a year. They tried to market it to Christian families, who what was possibly a pyramid scheme, but I don't think things were confirmed about that. And then years later, they tried relaunching the thing in India. I am not doing the story justice. I'm not going into that much detail, but that alone sounds absolutely freaking crazy. But like, do you want a game console that's also a DVD player? Good! Just get the PlayStation 2. You wonder why that sold so well? It's because it was a game console and DVD player at the same time. And it did numbers. Best-selling console of all time. There's a reason for that. Like, Sony already beat you to the punch. Like, maybe you want to go with something more casual and market it more as like a DVD thing, sure. But like, you're not really innovating. You're kind of late to the party, especially by 2009. It's like the first prototype, based on what Wikipedia says, was in 2004. So like, this was stuck in development hell for half a decade. Came out with AV cables, S-video cables, remotes that use like RF, so like they're shit, that's not Bluetooth or anything. No HDMI or anything. And by that point, we have the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, which, you know, Xbox didn't immediately have support for it, but it did have HD. It did do HDMI. And by that point, Xbox and PlayStation both did DVD stuff. And I think the PlayStation could also do Blu-ray at the time. I think because Blu-ray was a Sony thing, Sony wanted to push it, so they put it on the PlayStation 3, I think. It was definitely implemented by 4. So like, this console was kind of just doomed from the start. It kind of just ended up as like a sort of like relic of history, kind of like the CDI or 3DO. You know? It's like that kind of thing. But like, I'm never gonna be able to get a 3DO or CDI and play all the games for it or anything. As interesting as it would be to play through like Link in the Faces of Evil on stream, like that would be kind of funny. You can make me do the duck walk. Cool, huh? But but something I could more realistically do, I guess, was like maybe the Game Boy. Plus, like once I'm done with the 3DO or CDI for like a stream thing, like that's just kind of it. I own the thing for the novelty, and that's just it. I'm done. This thing, I feel like could be casual enough that I could keep it set up at the house, and like when we have family over, just have like a little get together and everything, and we just play Sudoku or Block 5, which is like a slight twist on Yahtzee, you know, or a couple trivia games. Like it's definitely more casual of a console. So like the level, it's a low bar for entry. Like we're talking about a family, mind you, that I tried to get to play Kirby once, and it did not go well. Kirby, like the baby platform, the babiest platformer of all platformers. It is known for being easy to play, especially because Kirby can basically fly whenever the hell he wants. And they could not do it. They could not. No one in my family could. Most of them are like double my age, and they're like, "Where's the A button?" It's the button with the A on it. Which button is that? It's like, can you read? Like, they can work a TV remote, they can work a DVD player, so like, you know, maybe it wouldn't be too difficult to change. You know? At least they're still effectively holding a DVD remote. They could probably figure it out from there. My mom can play solitaire on her phone. If she can do that, then there is hope for this family, I swear. You funny for April Fools with the CDI games on Switch Online. They would never. They're never gonna acknowledge. They're never gonna acknowledge Link in the Faces of Evil or Zelda and the Wand of. What was that? Was that Wand of Camelot? They're definitely not gonna acknowledge Zelda's Adventure. Never. They're never gonna acknowledge a CDI game. Now that I filled you in on the Game Wave story, let me fill you in on my story with this thing. So, a few months back, I was going to a local thrift store, as I like to do because I like collecting physical media, old DVDs of things that like maybe I haven't seen or like to watch physically because streaming services suck dick. And plus, I like actually physically owning things. I like to own the things I buy. Stop killing games. But anyway, I definitely prefer physical media over digital media. So if I can get like a DVD or a game at a thrift store for like $5, I'll take the opportunity. Well, one day, a few months back, I see a Game Wave. I see a Game Wave just sitting on a shelf, and I'm like, is that what it is? At that point, I had been aware of the Game Wave for like at least a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I'm like, this is it. But I'm like, I want to get it. And I see there's a few of the games on the shelf with the DVDs. I don't know where I'm going to put it because, like, we're still trying to reorganize a few things. So, like, I don't know where I'm going to put this right now. So I foolishly passed it up. And it was like $40, I think. It was a steal. Well, I think about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe I should have picked it up when I had the chance. So the next time I go to that thrift store, a few weeks later, I go there. It wasn't there anymore. It was not on the shelf. I think someone else realized the worth it had, bought it, and probably went to immediately resell it. So I look over at the shelf with the games, and the games were all still there. All 5 of the games that were on that shelf were still there. And knowing that there would probably be no other opportunity I could pick up these games for cheap, because each game was $5 each at this thrift store, I told myself, I made a mistake not getting the Game Wave console, but I'm at least gonna salvage the games. I'm at least gonna get these games and make sure I don't miss out on them. And I'll do my best to find a Game Wave at some point later down the road, and there you go. So for the past few months, I've just had a few of the games just kind of sitting here on a shelf nearby. I mean, like, I can't play them, but they're a cute little novelty piece. They just kind of exist right now. Fast forward a few months to my birthday, where my mom, as a little surprise, had gotten one online, so I told her about it. And, lo and behold, it was real. I have it. I open it up, and the thing's definitely been used. The box is a little bit beat up. Like, okay, open it up. Console's in there, as well as 3 of the remotes. 3? Yeah, the console is supposed to come with 4 remotes. Red, blue, yellow, and green. But the yellow remote was missing, as well as the batteries that would come with it. The other 3 remotes are still in there, and the batteries they came with were still sealed inside. Meaning this thing was probably used by one person, probably the cheap DVD player. A little bummed about that, but I probably wasn't going to be able to convince many people to play with me anyway, and if I was streaming it, I'd be playing it alone. I only need 1 remote, realistically. It's like, fine. Whatever. I look in the box a bit more, the pack-in game that it comes with. 4 Degrees Arc of Trivia Volume 1 is still sealed in shrink wrap. Meaning that if this thing was used, it 100% had to be as a DVD player. Because the game was never opened. Well, that's weird. But okay. Let's give this a test run. So we can see if the remote's working and everything. And we'll see for sure if it was ever used for games or not. And who knows? Maybe there's a free disc inside because they forgot to take it out or something. Because, like, they did kind of seem to haphazardly put the wires in the box, at least. Instead of the 4th controller, they put in, like, a second S video cable that they probably got out of a drawer somewhere. It's like, I don't know. It was weird. I plug it in, turn it on, but it won't turn on. The power indicator light isn't out. It's on, but it's flashing. And after a bit, I hear what sounds like a clicking noise coming from the console. Like it's trying to power on. But like, I don't know if like a circuit is getting cut or what, but like it gets stuck in kind of a loop. It's on for a half second, shuts off, on, off, on, off. It's kind of just flickering at life, basically. No display on screen, it's not even getting like the boot screen at all, nothing. That's weird. Give it a bit of time, try to couple more times, nothing. Can't get it to start. At that point, I'm like, uh-oh. My mom definitely paid at least $100-something for this thing online and had it delivered. That would suck if it doesn't work at all. And because this console is so niche and no one's ever heard of it, finding info about the damn thing was near impossible. But eventually, I was able to track down a Discord server. A small, not really frequently used community. That's the word. Not the right word for it. They're not that active. It was a very small, sort of inactive community of people with game waves and everything. So I'm like, okay, this would be perfect. So I go in and tell them, like, hey, I just got a game wave and it doesn't seem to work. And it seems to like kind of like it's stuck in a bit of a boot loop, I guess. It won't really turn on. And someone messaged back surprisingly quick, being like, well, okay. Have you tried taking the thing apart and looking inside? Because it could be a bad capacitor or like a dead internal battery or something. I'm like, no, because I've never messed around in the hardware aspect of a console, and I'm scared to. But I'll give it a shot. Cue me searching for a couple hours trying to get a screwdriver that will go into the frickin' like buried screw slots that would actually work. It's like some of the screws were alright. There were like a few on the outside that were pretty easy to get out. But there's like 6 screws at the bottom that are kind of like in little holes to kind of keep the case, the outer shell of it, stuck together. But it's really hard to get into those little holes, so you need like a long screwdriver. But it also needs to be kind of thick enough to like latch on, because I found one that was plenty long, but also was fairly thin, so it wasn't able to grab on the screws very effectively. So I was rummaging around through drawers, trying to find the right screwdriver, and I finally did. Finally got the thing open. At least open enough to see inside of it. I didn't get the case fully off because part of it was still attached to the power button and all that, so like, I'm not gonna risk damaging this thing any further if anything is broken. Like, I was able to open the thing enough to look inside it. And from what I can tell, nothing's out of place, no parts fell out, no capacitors leaked out or anything. So this is not an original Xbox scenario where like the capacitor leaks and damages everything. This is not that sort of scenario. Everything seems to be intact. So I messaged back being like, I was able to open the thing enough to look inside, didn't see anything broken per se, I'm not entirely sure what's up. My only theory was that maybe the power supply was starting to fail. So it wasn't supplying the power it needed to like, keep the thing up and running. So it was able to power on for a split second, didn't have enough power to keep going, shut off, and like back and forth in a loop, right? I meshes that, and I'm still waiting on an answer. Like I said, this community is small and fairly inactive. So, in the meantime, I'm left with effectively a dead game wave, 5 games I can't play out of the console's 13. You could tell this thing didn't last long. And no plan, because the Direct didn't happen, so I can't react to a Direct. Sonic Central didn't happen, so I couldn't at least like put a Direct Sonic Central reaction highlight thing out instead. That didn't work. This doesn't work, so I can't stream that, because I probably have some sort of converter somewhere in this house that I can use to at least play the thing for stream, if it works. But I can't do that. So here I am, with like no idea what to do, so I'm like, you know what, I'm still set up for Dudunsparce, screw it. So here I am with Dudunsparce. It's like a major backup plan because everything else went wrong. Everything else went wrong. I'll do my best to get this damn thing working again. And when I do, and it will be a when, I am dedicated. My mom spent way too much money on this for this to be a freaking waste. But like, when I get this to work, I'm gonna stream the games. At least the ones I have. Okay? That got me to the sandwich pretty quick, huh? One Dudunsparce. I'm gonna guess its nature is... You know what? Moody. Relaxed. Damn it, the complete opposite of me. I'm not relaxed right now. I have to deal with a broken game console from 15 years ago that no one's ever heard about. The lack of a Direct, the lack of a Sonic Central, all of my supposed plans for things I could do this week went out the window. It got up and it danced away. It did what? It got up and it danced away. It got up and danced away. See, it even sounds weird when you say it. Anyway, number 33, will you be our 3 segment? Nope. Didn't get that 1 in 100. That's fair, though. Alright, in the box you go. So, yeah, that's been my week. A console that didn't work, a Direct that didn't happen, a Sonic Central I can't make reactions to. And we'll make reaction highlights to, I should say. And now we're just here, trying to get more, like, shiny bugs that aren't bugs. Hoping to get a rare variant of the rare variant. This is my life. Anyway. Yeah, that pretty much sums up this whole current mess right now. And tomorrow I should have some plan, you know? Like, I'll look through what's on NSO at the moment and see if I can find anything I can, like, possibly do as a little stream thing. Hopefully by a little time, or maybe a Direct, or something. Besides that, my friend Wanya is trying to set up a multi-world archipelago thing. We've done a couple of these so far, and I've streamed my perspective. I've played Link to the Past and Super Metroid as last ones. And we usually do these, like, yearly. But again, the schedule worked out a bit iffy. So we're still trying to figure that all out. But that's going to be a thing at some point probably next month. We don't have a firm date yet. We don't have a firm date yet, so we'll see when we do that. But without a set release date, without a set date of that, like, I can't plan a week around that. You know? So it kind of just depends. Anyway, Sandwich number 2. So, like, I can't do an archipelago thing, because that hasn't started yet. We're still trying to figure that out. The fight didn't happen like I thought it would. Sonic Central didn't happen like I thought it would. The game console I wanted to get to work and stream for you guys, that isn't happening yet. So I was left in a bit of a bind. On my end, I was tempted to Nintendo Switch 2, although much of a story is still kind of a bit of a story about my various failures. I'm willing to bet most of it boils down to I went to the store and they didn't have it. I will always think about that one image of a Target that ran out of Switch 2 stock and just put out a Wii U for sale. That is still a funny image to me. That means I held on to a Wii U for over a decade. You know, I could theoretically spend some of the sandwich time where we're just doing this for half an hour, talking about the specific games on gameplay. I can at least do something with what I have. Go through your stuff first. Go through your stuff first. Besides the most recent bit. So most of the stories you attempted go in, no Switch 2s. They already got sold out. Okay. What makes the most recent attempt so special? Part of me thinking, like, they might say, oh, we have it, they check the back, and it's not. They're like, oh, I guess we don't have it. That's the only thing I can think of what could be. Making sure I don't drive past any shinies, because I could have done that and not even noticed. I guess I could at least talk about Mario Kart World, because apparently Nintendo's gotten to a bit of controversy with a recent update. Apparently, Nintendo didn't like how everyone in online was selecting random to skip the potential of the intermissions. So they can guarantee like a 3-lap race in any track. Nintendo's like, no, the point of the game is that it's one big interconnected world. The intermissions are part of it. Play the intermissions. So there's now a high chance of getting a track with an intermission. Meaning it's like it's a nearby track. That means you're not as likely to get a full 3-lap race, because you're getting like a 2-section getting there, and then a full lap, and then you're done, basically. And people were not happy. A change. So, yeah. Definitely not gonna be a thing that gets super overblown to the point where people go Nintendo bad because they hate games or something. Don't you just love the internet? Granted though, that whole update with the random thing is probably just a little band-aid solution until they figure out some sort of plan. They'll probably make like a separate selector being like, do you want to play 3-lap races, or do you want to play intermissions? And that's probably the best case scenario, but like that takes a little bit of time to implement. It's like in the meantime, I guess I could do a little band-aid fix, I suppose. Because Nintendo wants people to actually engage with the damn game. I'm like, yeah, it's iffy, it's a bit forced, but like, what are you gonna do? You're skipping a large part of the game by not doing intermissions. It's like, that's kind of the point. It's a big open world. It's part of the gimmick. Oh well. First of all, I attained the money switch to a few days after release. Congrats. Which was where to pick one up, and the struggles began. Go to a store. Nothing. Go to a store. Nothing. Go to a store. Sold out. Every store you went to was in a 50-mile radius, which is like, nope, we don't got any. We've been trying for weeks with the restocks of shipments and nothing. The thing's been selling so well, you can't even find one in this day and age. I'm not even, like, messing with it. I'm not even messing with it right now, you know? I'm happy to wait a little bit. Let everyone else get theirs first. You know, I wait, so that way I have a bigger chance of actually getting it. And the library gets filled out a little bit more, because, like, Donkey Kong comes out next month, Kirby Air Rider still doesn't have a set release date, Pokemon Legends ZA comes out in, like, 2 months. It's like, there's still time. And the games I want to play aren't going to be out for a while yet, so no real big rush. And plus, I saw some of the chaos online with the pre-orders alone. The pre-orders alone were a chaotic mess. I'm willing to bet that even like, trying to get consoles in person is just as a mess. Just as big of a mess, you know? It's like, I'm not getting involved in that. How bad was it for you? Because I've been trying to kind of avoid the chaos. Like, I'm not getting involved in it, because that's just gonna be just inevitable disappointment. Looking at the restocks all that for a while. Found the online Walmart store was gonna be restocked yesterday at a certain time, to try there for that. And did it sell out immediately? I'm willing to bet it sold out immediately. I rarely buy anything online. I rarely do. Because you get scenarios like the Game Wave I have, where it just, you know, doesn't work. Again, the only theory I have is that the power supply needs replaced, because it's just not going well. Because like, clearly it was used to some extent, especially considering one of the remotes is missing. But like, I help a family member of the Walmart Plus accounts, they were able to get an order restocked an hour early. Ooh. Priority system. Kinda sounds like how Nintendo did things on their website, where Switch Online members get first pick, I think. Right? At least they were the only ones who could actually like pre-order off the site. Again, not messing with that. Also, I could just sing the song, "Don't ever buy a console at launch." I'm being serious. Do not ever buy a console at launch. Oh, Rental Plus. You only scratch the surface. It may be time for a sequel, that song. Let's be fair. It might be time for a sequel. The cat in the verse like, and your pre-orders aren't even guaranteed. And a month they'll go poof, and you're left without it. Don't ever buy a console. I cannot write lyrics on the fly, I'm sorry. No need to credit me. My lyrics are ass. Ugh. The rest of that song does age fairly well, though, let's be honest here. That came out when the Wii U was new. Like, that was over a decade ago, dude. I wish that song didn't age well. Why does gaming suck now? Yeah, I joke, but man, things could be a lot better. We're waiting in a queue for like 45 before they're sold. That's by tagging the bite right away. Yeesh. So it seems that a lot of people have the same idea. Again, I'm not getting involved in that mess. I'm not bothering. I'm not bothering. Of course, Black Friday probably won't even be a good time either because they're gonna sell like crazy because they're gonna be cheaper for the holidays. So maybe by then most people will actually have one, and they'll just be the typical like race during Black Friday stuff, you know. That typical thing. But who knows? The first year does tend to be kind of rough. You know? So to be fair, I was able to get my Switch 1 during the first year of the holidays. So maybe Switch 2 will be the same. Maybe I'll be more lucky then. Also, shiny market. Yeah, don't give up, man. You'll get it eventually. Again, I'm just not getting involved in the mess. It just seems like a bit much of it. It's a bit too much of a hassle, you know? Plus, you gotta take into account the scalpers. Ugh. The scalpers, man. I don't know how things got so bad with scalping in recent years. Like, you probably know how bad it's been getting for Pokemon cards. It's like some of the most recent expansions for like, physical Pokemon cards have been an absolute nightmare with scalpers. Like now stores have to lock up their stock, or like they limit the amount you can buy per customer. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, I get it. Some are going to be super popular because the full arts look good. I get it. But, like, Jesus. How far are you willing to go on that? And how are we going to stop that? Because, like, the Switch 2 has scalpers. Pokemon cards are getting scalped like crazy. Apparently I saw someone online about, like, a VTuber thing that was so scalped that like VTubers themselves couldn't even get their hands on tickets. We're talking about some big names here. So like, why? I know scalping has been a problem for a while, because like I was aware of it like back when I used to watch like baseball, you know. Like I would used to go to like 1 or 2 games a summer, and I would still hear about scalpers with tickets and everything, you know? Like people reselling tickets in the street at least. Which I guess isn't quite the same thing, but I was aware of the practice at least. It feels like it's exploded in recent years. What happened? What happened? What happened, dude? Why is the world like this now? Why is everything getting scalped? You wonder why I like going to thrift stores and just getting old stuff for cheap. You don't go through this hassle. And you still get to get all the good stuff, you know? Like you'll find a DVD of The Matrix, or like a full season, like a full season 3 of The Simpsons, you know? You get good stuff at a thrift store. And like, you don't have to worry about the mess of like anything new that comes out. Like, I don't don't have to get the new thing right away. I still have this old thing, and I can get more things for that old thing, you know? It's best I don't get involved with this junk and just get satisfied with the stuff that's kind of been left behind, I guess. You know? Seriously though, I do try to go to thrift stores fairly often. There are a couple in my area that I visit at least like once a month, at least twice a week. Check it for DVDs and games and whatnot. My luck with games has been kind of sad, though I will admit I did get Rabbids Go Home and Legs Crossbow Training at thrift stores, so those were neat finds. Mostly I get DVDs there though. Let's see. There are some I would wish to go to more often. It's like I go to thrift stores and flea markets at a lot of opportunities because like I even made it a point to go to a few thrift stores when I was in Alabama a few weeks back. It's like they have different thrift stores there, and that means that's a whole different thing to go through, you know? They may have something that I can't seem to find anywhere else. Good news, I did not leave empty-handed. Got a bunch of Disney DVDs of like the good old movies before they made live action slop. You know? Of course, there's this flea market I like to go to that's kind of out of town. That like we spend like a good day kind of like heading down there, kind of like spending an hour looking through all stuff there. Cause flea markets, like there's a flea market I go to where there's like multiple people have walls of DVDs and games and everything, and like it feels kind of like a treasure trove of stuff there. The stuff you can find by just looking at things that people want to sell. And the thing with thrift stores and flea markets, you're not dealing with like shipping costs or like scalpers or anything. You're just dealing with, you know, ordinary people who want to sell their stuff or donate it to like a Goodwill or something. So like, they tend to be fairly cheap. You can pick up an old DVD for like $1, maybe no more than $5. In pretty good condition, too. You know? And I've gotten some good shit that way. Like, do not underestimate thrift stores and flea markets. I recommend that if you're wanting to get more physical media or just want to look at all the curiosities of things that people don't want anymore, I mean it. Go to a thrift store. Go to a flea market. You know. You never know what you'll find. I will say though, there does seem to be a pattern of things I find. For one thing, video games tend to appear less often unless it's a dedicated shelf for them in a flea market. So, if you're looking for video games, you may not have the best time unless you go through a bunch of them. But you'll probably find something, you know. Though a lot of it's probably going to be like fitness games for the Wii that you don't give a shit about. But like, you never know, you could find a copy of Legs Crossbow Training. You know, there's still a little hope you can find a little extra something interesting. At one point, the thrift store had a copy of Crash Team Racing for PlayStation, but I don't have a PlayStation, so I didn't get it. So, like, you never know. You can find some old classics there. There's like a sort of flea market thrift store thing, like in my old hometown I went to once. And, well, they didn't have the boxes. They had the instruction manuals and the cartridges for like old Sega Genesis games. So, like, it wasn't complete in box or anything, but like, the games were there. So like, if you like playing retro games, you could probably still find some stuff. So, like, I like physical media. As much as, like, NSO is super convenient for a lot of the game libraries, there are a lot of games that are just never going to show up because of, like, licensing and third-party stuff. You're never going to see it. And to the shows, there's no guarantee that things will stay on streaming services, and they keep getting more and more expensive. Netflix goes up at a couple dollars every few months, I swear to God. HBO Max is a freaking pattern of getting rid of every single piece of animation known to man, where the only classic cartoon even exists on the streaming service anymore is Courage. He must be there for long. Bro, get me out of here. Return the slab. Return the cartoons. Anyway, it's like, I always look out for DVDs and stuff because you never know what you'll find, and it's great, and you own it, and you can watch it whenever you want. You don't have to pay a bunch of money for streaming services that may not have it forever. Because stupid. It's stupid. I hate the digital age! I hate the digital age! Everything's a rental, and you may not be able to get it whenever you want. It was interesting when it was just Netflix and I guess maybe Hulu, but then every company had their own, and you're super stretched thin. You're better off with cable and a DVR. Yeah, streaming sucks. Scalpers suck. Buy shit at a thrift store, you know? The mall, and then 15 months of used game shop, Use game shops, another quality option. There you go. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Conventions. There was a local gaming convention I tried going to last summer. It was kind of a dud because most of it was indeed stuff like D&D and Magic the Gathering and all that. There was like a Mario Kart tournament, but like you had to pay to get into it. And there were like 2 switches there, and there's like no space to set up your own stuff. So okay. So like, I was kind of just out of my league. But there were a few people selling like some of the games they had. There was a copy of Mega Man 11 on the Switch I could have gotten, but like the case itself was intact, but like, I guess like the paper or like insert that they used for the title and everything, like it only had the front. The rest of it was torn off. Like the spine and back were all torn out of it. It's like, what happened to this copy of Mega Man 11? What happened to it? I would have bought it too, even though I already have Mega Man 11 on Steam, because A, I could then play the game for stream without causing my laptop to catch fire. It's like the game itself, it's a game from post 2010 that uses 3D graphics. This thing ain't gonna run with anything else going on in the background without running at like 10 FPS. So like, if I was gonna stream it, I was gonna have to play it on Switch. And I guess getting a used copy would be a good choice for that, but like, man, the case being in such bad shape. And none of the other games that the guy had were interesting, so like, yeah. But like, the option was there. So like, check out what other people are selling, preferably physically, because like, you never know what kind of things that people don't want that you might actually really want. You may stumble across a game wave of your very own. In all seriousness, though, I have to one of these days just spend a good day going around like a big, like 50-mile radius, just checking out every thrift store I can. Just trying to get as much stuff as I possibly can find and interest me, like as many DVDs and old games as I could really want. It's like that kind of thing is just super satisfying. It's like, now I have this thing. I paid $5 for it. I don't have to worry about streaming services or NSO shenanigans, and I can just play the game. And I can just be happy with it. You know? I like physical media. I like collecting shit. I would have gotten this game physically if I had the opportunity to, but no, I went digital. And I guess it's fine, but like, you know, would have been nice if I could have gotten it physical. I'll get Legends ZA physically whenever I can. I don't think it's gonna be like a day one or a midnight release thing, but like, I'll get it. I've learned not to rush it. I'll get it when I get it. And that mindset has led me into good times with the Switch 2 stuff. Because, like, yeah, everyone else is already playing Mario Kart, and I'm just like, I wish I could, but I'm like, no, not messing with the hassle of all the Switch 2 nonsense right now. I'll get it when I get it. The time will come eventually. I'm learning patience! What? I'm growing and developing into a better human being? No way! What's all the little GameStop has even starting to sell retro games like Genesis. Ooh, nice. They put Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles in stock. Ooh, the full package. Nice. You'll love to see it. Sonic 3 and Knuckles with the original music and no weird Sonic Origins shenanigans. Let's go. You know what'd be funny? As much as I was struggling trying to find a place for the game live, if I could clear out some more stuff at this place, like, I've seen PlayStation 2s in thrift stores before. Like, I could maybe get one of those and experience the PS2 generation in full. Like, I've had a small taste, don't get me wrong, but like, I've never had a full chance to sit down and fully experience the best-selling console of all time, and everyone gasses it up as some great thing. And plus, there'd be another way of getting DVD games to actually play on stream. You know, that'd be fun. No, I did not get Legends Arceus. That was not me. You're probably thinking of someone else. I want to maybe try it, but like, Legends EA is coming out, so like, I might as well just wait for that. But I will admit, I was at least interested with the Legends Arceus gameplay I did. And plus, shiny hunting is a lot easier in that game because you just fly over and when you get ring, you're like, oh, shiny nearby, gotta find it. And then it becomes like a sneak up on the thing scenario. Basically this, but better. I would love to shiny hunt in Legends Arceus, but unfortunately, I did not pick it up. I have not gotten that yet. Maybe I will someday, but not right now. Yeah, the day will come where either I get Legends Arceus or I get Legends ZA at some point when the game comes out, and I'll be happy. And I can experience this gameplay for myself. Something at least is just better than this. You know? I don't want to kind of have to stop and squint to see a shiny difference, you know? Tender mouse. I just want to see sparkles and I'm gonna go bring. You know, like, I'm close. There's something close. They have very different gameplay. I mean, I guess Legends ZA has a bit more like sectioned off stuff, while Arceus is more open. And the battle system's different. Instead of it being like real-time battles, it's like the whole like style difference stuff. Like, in terms of like more exploration based, I feel like the catching mechanics are gonna be fairly similar, right? And it's part of the same series, for crying out loud. kind of how I'm feeling about getting a new Smash Bros. It's like, I'm not gonna jump into Ultimate now. It's been out for years. The only people still playing that, let's be honest here, are probably the diehards. I'm not gonna have fun playing it. But like, if the new one comes out, then that's when all the casuals are gonna get on playing it. So I'm not gonna be going up against all the experts who constantly play this game and basically nothing else. So I might have more of a generally fun time. Because, you know, all the people who aren't as good. You know? And plus, there's always that little fear, the fear of missing out, you know? It's like you get a game and then a new one comes out like a year later and then, well, now you can't get the new game. So like, uh-oh. Or maybe the new game comes out but you get the old game while the new game is out and you're still left behind and then people are like, haha. Sucks to be you, you got the old one, everyone's moved on, bye-bye. Like, might as well spoil. We're so close to the Legends ZA, I'd rather not mess with trying to get Arceus right now. He's more focused on trainer battles, Arceus is more focused on collection of Pokemon. That's fair. That's fair, but still. I feel like there's gonna be more similarities than you may think, you know? Still. Plus, I'm not expecting to get both at the moment, so like... Come on, be realistic here. If I'm gonna pick one, I might as well pick the newer one. Yeah, nature guesses. I'm gonna guess... Let's say... bold, sassy, and timid. Adamant, lonely, mild. God damn it. I'll get one of these eventually! I'll get one eventually. Good night, marks. No marks. But yeah, please, to anyone listening to this, I recommend just checking out your local thrift stores and flea markets to see what you can find. You can find some good stuff for pretty cheap. That's how I have most of my Muppet DVDs. Ugh. At some point I'll play it. Not right now. And probably not for a while. 2-segment. If Legends DA wasn't a thing and it wasn't coming out like 2 months, 3 months from now, well, 4 months probably closer, but like, yeah, they're kind of like, it's close, you know? If that wasn't a thing, then I'd probably consider picking it up. But we're so close to a new one, I'm just like, if I'm gonna get a Legends game, I'm just gonna get the new one. Because I'm not gonna get both right away. I'm not getting both at the same time. And plus, they're still Pokemon games, they're still RPGs. You put a lot of time into those. So like, you know, I can't just sit down and play effectively 2 Pokemon RPGs that close together. That's not gonna end well. No, 3 segments. I have to pick my priorities, you know? But someday I'll play Legends ZA. Someday I'll play it. Because I hear it's actually pretty good. There's a reason why we're getting a new Legends. Let's say that. Okay, goes on to Tofu. To better again. V-Pick. So anyway, if I could figure out how to fix the damn thing, I'd be happy to at least stream the Game Wave games I have, and then keep my eyes open for any more I can find, because you never know when you'll stumble across them. It's Like, I found the current games I have at a thrift store. Another amazing perk, you could find rare stuff at a thrift store being sold for very cheap because they don't know the value of these things. There was a channel that I watched a video of recently where they went to like 100 or something different Goodwills. And the guy based like how good the Goodwill was for games, depending on how expensive a Wii balance board was. And that was like a running gag he had through the whole video. It was funny. The Wii balance board test, you know. The prices would range from like $10 to upwards of like 25, and that would be the big gauge of how into it they were. So far, Legends Arceus is one of the only Pokemon that feels like a proper reward for catching all the Pokemon. Ooh, an actual good, like, Pokedex completion reward. Interesting. I don't know the final reward, but I know that as you catch more of the same Pokemon, their individual shiny rates go up. I know about that at least, but I don't know about the full Pokedex completion. Not Research Station 1, go to 3. I went trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible because I do want to play Legends Arceus at some point. Like now, I think it's a little bit late to pick it up right now because of ZA, but I will play Arceus someday because I've heard many good things about it. Just wish more of it translated over to mainline, but okay. Maybe in Generation 10. Maybe in Generation 10. Kind of crazy that there are going to be 10 generations of Pokemon at this rate. It's like a year or two from now, we're going to have a new mainline Pokemon. It's going to be so weird. 10 full generations. Over 1,000 Pokemon. This series is crazy. This series is freaking crazy, dude. Anyway, speaking of Pokemon, Go Fest is happening this weekend. And, a friend of mine actually gifted me a ticket for it. So I'm actually gonna play Go Fest with a ticket this time. Which is something I never do because I never buy the tickets. I don't spend money in the game. Any perks I get from tickets are either free tickets or they're things that people gift me. And I was gifted a Go Fest ticket, so I'm gonna have the full extent of Go Fest this time. For the first time ever. So that's gonna be super exciting. Also, big thing for me. Ground forms for Zacian and Zamazenta. Apparently their field moves they have buff the attack and defense of Pokemon for raid battles and stuff. So, like, future max battle stuff is gonna be so much easier. Like, some of the ones we've done so far, like when they first brought out the Kanto starters, and even some of like the Galar starters for the max battle and Gigantamax stuff, has been a nightmare. This at least counters it a little bit because that means we have the legendaries that can battle in the max battle stuff without needing to be specifically Dynamax or Gigantamax. We have buffs that increase attack or defense. So realistically, smaller groups can take on these Gigantamax Pokemon. It's gonna be so much easier now. I'm so excited for that. Supposed to be this year to their 3-year cycle. Yes, but I feel like games take longer to make, and they saw what happened with Gen 9 being blatantly rushed out the door. They put more attention into it, trying to get it on Switch 2. That was probably their main focus for a while. And the glow up is insane. So I don't think we're going to be getting Generation 10 this year. And it may not even happen next year. Really? I think we still got a bit of time. I think we still have a little bit of time. I think we need to have. I think what needs to realistically happen is that Generation 10 needs time to breathe. Just give it a little bit of time to make sure it's properly ready to go before it comes out. You know? Like, think about Generation 9. This could have been the best Pokemon game ever made. But we never get a chance to see it that way because the game was rushed out the door. There are so many good things about this game that got overshadowed with the fact that it's a buggy mess from how rushed out the door it was. Let's not forget the time it came out. The 2020s, man, have been rough. and it isn't a problem with the development company. Game Freak is doing perfectly fine. Like, didn't they have a game they showed off in the Xbox showcase? It looked super realistic and looked actually really good. So it was entirely the Pokemon company trying to rush things out the door for a holiday release. Don't put such harsh time limits on them, and they can do amazing things. I mean, Sega's starting to learn that lesson, aren't they? There you go. Give them the time. Give them the money. Don't try to rush them out the door for the sake of a holiday release. And you're golden. You're golden. It's a winning formula. And I feel like if Generation 8 and the N64 trees wasn't their wake-up call, this definitely was. This had to have been, right? I say they need to give it a little bit extra time, especially because Pokemon's now doing this like big open world thing now. Like, individual routes are of the past. We now have full-on explorable worlds now. You know, big open areas. That takes a lot of time to make. You saw how long Tears of the Kingdom took to make. And the base map is basically the same as Breath of the Wild. They just added a lot of stuff in the sky and a whole second underground map. And that took a lot of time. It's like a game in this style takes a while, you know? It needs that extra time. So I don't see them rushing Generation 10 out the door. I think we're going to be waiting a bit now. Like, I'm not even sure we're gonna get it next year. That's the thing. Maybe we will, but I think they need to give it a little bit more time. Honestly, Generation 9 should have been delayed a year. Give Legends Arceus a little extra time to grow itself. And maybe give it DLC, because apparently there was some plan, but that got canceled because they had to prioritize Generation 9 during the dark times of 2020. But, you know, have Legends Arceus have some alone. Then there's an actual good version of Generation. And I want them to do something similar with ZA. Let ZA have some time in the light, give it like a year or so by itself. Maybe give it DLC if you can manage it. Then Generation 10 has a time to shine. You know? What's actually done. You know? And don't even announce it until you're confident that it's good to go. You know? That it's gonna be right. It's like, come on. Thank God I'm releasing this year. It's similar case of Sonic, where thank God they're getting more time. Beast of Rumoration or something like that. I wonder if the Pokemon team is called the B team in Game Freak. I don't know. As far as I know, during the 3DS era, they're B team. I'm not sure. I don't know everything that Game Freak is up to. Like, besides Beast of Rumoration or whatever. I'm pronouncing it wrong. Words are hard. Besides that, like, Pokemon's the thing they're really known for, because they've been developing it since the beginning. And Pokemon is the most successful franchise in all of media, I think. So, like, this is what they're known for. And I think it deserves the very best. It deserves the very best. Like no one ever was. You spelled it? That might explain it. Don't fully blame yourself. I'm trying to rush through chat so I don't miss out on Dudunsparce encounters. Because I was going on a little tirade about how games need time to be developed in this day and age. I wasn't looking at chat. I was just ranting and trying to look at Dudunsparce. I didn't even see half of your messages until now. So I had to play catch up. It could just be me rushing it. That's the problem with rushing. You misspell things, you say things wrong, you miss things. Yargle-bargle. What a world, what a world. Feast of Reincarnation. There we go. See, that I can read. That I can read. It's one single line that I glance over and make sure the word was spelled right. Everyone wins! Everyone wins. Everyone wins when we all take our time, but also the world's gonna have collective. The world's gonna have collective attention span of like 10 milliseconds now. So like, I don't know if we can handle long times anymore. We can't handle taking our time. That's for chumps. I am super paranoid about enemies being shiny. It's not seem to be the case. We move. We ride! I'm sure my friend the trailer that time was making the game. Their reaction seeing the Game Freak logo was priceless. That's how everyone was. Like, that was the big highlight of the Xbox showcase, was the fact that Game Freak can make something that looks like that. They go from this to that. It is a night and day difference, man. It is insane. You can tell that game had time, and also is not running on a Switch 1. You could just tell. Now imagine if Pokemon would look like that. Imagine! That's kind of what people expect from the best-selling, most popular franchise of all time, you know? But come on. Come on. It's like, dude. If any game series deserves, like, the highest quality ever, it's this. For how popular the damn series is, you'd think they want to make sure they're putting their best foot forward. In the last couple of generations, it didn't fully seem that way, especially Gen 9. It's not like they weren't trying, it's just that they ran out of time. Because the stupid time limits, you know? This ain't the 90s. You can't make a full-fledged game with the scale of Pokemon in like 9 months. You can't do that shit anymore. You could barely even do it then. It's like, stop. Slow down. Take your time. We want these games to be good. That's all gamers really want. We want our games to be good. You're taking too long. I have not seen the beta stuff. I know a lot of the stuff. I know a lot of Pokemon stuff leaked like last year or something, but I have looked into very little of the modern stuff. Everyone was going crazy about like the beta material, like Gen 4 and 5 specifically. And I think they were like pulling, like they were keeping a lot of the newer stuff more secret because like Legends EA was announced, and like they're not gonna spoil all that unless they're gonna be super dickish about it. And from what I could tell, they weren't. So like, unless there's been a new beta thing that showed up, I have not seen anything. There's gonna be a ton more trees in this game. Uh-oh. More things to block the camera. Wonderful. I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't though, because the camera. Look at this. Look how easy it is for the camera to get all messy. Yeah. Trees make it an absolute nightmare. Though granted it would need more variety in terms of like the way things look. Because a lot of the world does feel kind of like, I don't know if flat is the right word for it. But like, I don't trust the camera. I don't trust the camera. I've seen it do some wacky things, and maybe they wouldn't have if the game was actually fucking finished, but you know. Prioritize making sure your game actually works, and then you could put trees in it. Also, the brown patch brown around the bug gym town. More or less go use dividers. Dividers for each of the towns. Huh. So like the towns were gonna be like surrounded by trees you'd see in the distance? That does track for Pokemon. Trees being literally everywhere and like encasing the whole town. That's pretty standard Pokemon design. That makes sense. Not really necessary, and I like the fact that it's everything open. You can approach the town from any direction. That's good. We're like, you know, it does kind of fit Pokemon. 13 more minutes of this sandwich. And I'm thinking we maybe do one more sandwich. Good measure. Nice 4 sandwich. But yeah, it's good to hear they had big plans for this game. And it definitely feels that way. It's just that they didn't have time. Let this be a lesson to game developers out there. If things aren't ready, there is no fear. There should be no fear in delaying a video game. There should be no fear in that. Something Miyamoto, delayed game, eventually good, rush game always bad, yada yada yada. You get the point. But like, think about it. I understand the recipe said the cake was going to be done in around 35 minutes. But if it doesn't look like it's done in 35 minutes, do not take it out of the oven! They're probably meant to be orchards. Ground patch was put to a tree. Ooh. Let's see. Kind of like the olive branch stuff, you know? That makes sense. A small underground 70 electric gym town? Really? Dang. They were planning on doing a lot, huh? let's hope Generation 10 can make up for it. Let's hope that these devs actually give the time they need, you know? Again, if any franchise deserves it, it's this one. Come on. If you're the most popular media franchise of all time, at least act like it. Act like it. You know? A small underground market area. Ooh. That sounds neat. So like it wasn't just meant to like be this big town. It was also meant to have like an underground shopping district or something. That is cool. That is cool. Kind of reminds me of what was it, Mauville from Gen 3? There's like the little like quest you can do, the little quest you do, the gym leader, where it's like, hey, the generators, turn them on. Here's the keys to the underground. And it kind of looks like some sort of like lab down there. I imagine it being something like that. It's just that kind of thing, except it's like a big shopping district. Kind of like how the Gen 3 remakes kind of turned that city into like a big mall. Which I'll admit is interesting. It's a nice change. Makes it more unique and stand out. And Area 0 isn't section off accessible? Area 0 was accessible from the open world? It was just there? Huh. Now, how the hell would that work? Because, like, I can see why it's sectioned off in the final game, because, like, you're not supposed to go down there until the story calls. You know? It's off limits. And, like, you can still, when you unlock, you can jump down the crater yourself. So, like, it is still there, but, like, sectioning it off means you're able to gate it until the proper story beat, you know? Especially because you can go in whenever the hell you want. These Pokemon are all, like, level 50 or higher. You don't want to jump down here super early. That's just gonna cause problems. Like, that seems less of a game is unfinished thing and more of a game wasn't fully, like, done, you know? Like, maybe it was always meant to be sectioned off like this because they want to have it kind of build up and also make sure the player doesn't go in too early, you know? Like, by the time you go into Area 0, when you're in the actual story, you've done the stuff with the champion. You've technically beaten the Elite Four champion, that sort of thing. Like, this is kind of post-game in quotes. You've done all the Titan battles. You've done all the big, like trainer battle, the Team Star storyline too. Like, this is the big end game thing. They want to make sure you're ready for it. So sectioning it off, I feel like, is a good move. You know? Even if it is a little bit awkward, it's probably a necessity based on how this is designed. They would have put... Yeah. It would have been like Sonic Frontiers, where like the invisible wall blocks you. It's like, you stray from the path. you go up towards it, and then you hit an invisible wall text box that says, didn't they tell you this place is off limits? Go away. But like, still, they had to gate this off somehow. That was a necessity. 100%. You know? I do like the fact that it's all like covered with like a fog or clouds though, so you can't even see it from above. So it's like a really big reveal when you actually do see it. Little things like that I can appreciate about this game, but like, man, those things don't shine whenever the game is blatantly unfinished. Instead, you get moments where you have an Ursa ring suddenly spawn in during a cutscene for half a second, and everyone makes Freddy Fazbear jokes. I never had it happen. I wish it did. The idea of like a random Pokemon showing up for a half a second and just making a little noise and just being gone is hilarious. I still remember the clip with the Psyduck. Like, Arvin's trying to have this touching moment where he's talking about his lifelong companion is like is ill and he needs to save him with the Herba Mystica and it's like the only chance he has. And then suddenly a Psyduck appears out of nowhere, quacks once, Psyduck appears, quacks once, refuses to elaborate, disappears. It's like, you can't take this shit seriously when the game's a mess like this. Come on. Like, it's like Sonic 06. They had big ambitions, and you could tell they really wanted to do amazing things with it, but they rushed it out the door, and now it's a laughingstock. You know? They probably have the military surrounding or something. What? The Toby Fox music! Oh my god, it's so good! The Terra Raid music is so good! I'm glad they got him for this. So good. It's like, you can tell they wanted to do so much with this game and they just couldn't do it because they ran out of time. It's sad. It's so sad. Well, hopefully they learned their lesson. Like how Sonic Team seemingly has. I mean, there's a reason we haven't got an announcement of a new mainline Sonic. And there's a reason why Sonic Racing Cross Worlds looks so good. They took their time with it. It's not rushed. Still pisses me off about how they do the digital deluxe system and the Predator bonus is actually a full-on playable character this time. It'll probably never be released ever again outside of that, which is super fucking frustrating. And supposedly it's supposed to be Predator in the digital deluxe version. They haven't fully elaborated on that. Sega still has things to figure out, but still, game development. They've at least learned their lesson in that. I hate digital deluxe and Predator both bullshit, you know? If it's something insignificant, then fine, okay, but when you're locking away a full playable character, fuck off. We get it, you want to fully embrace the digital age and you're probably gonna put it on a damn game key card. Can you make it any more obvious, Sega? God. God forbid we're actually able to own our physical games. Why does it feel like the game industry just sucks now? Why? Really cool. Toby put some songs to this game and the Pokemon Company likes the songs. That's really put it uses motifs throughout the game. Apparently made a song in the proceedings of the motif. The overall theme of Paldea. Ooh. Speaking of Toby Fox, I have not played Deltarune. I know everyone's losing their minds over chapters 3 and 4. But I don't know. I don't know, dude. The game's not even technically done yet. There's still more chapters to go. I'd rather just wait. Anyway. Now what? Now, oh, the sandwich's almost done. Good timing. One final little loop here, seems like shinies. And we get a buzzer beater. You never know. We could get one at the buzzer. Buzzer, let's go! Right at the buzzer. You can see the other stuff spawning behind it. Let's go! Say that you play Rally Brothership, I do think you'd really like it. Maybe. I don't want to get into too many RPGs, though, is the thing. Because, like, I just finished Mario and Luigi. And Legend ZA is not too far off, so... I don't want to jump into another RPG between that, you know? Double check if any other shinies in here, because you never know. That's in the case. Let's get out of here. I will admit, though, Undertale and Deltarune do at least look more interesting to me than most RPGs. Because, like, they have a unique sort of, like, art style to them. Mario and Luigi, unique art style to them, more cartoony, and plus it's Mario. I like Mario. So I already have, like, a little bit of a basis going in. Pokemon. I like the concept of being able to collect things, like the Pokedex. Shiny hunting's fun. Being able to customize your party with different movesets is fun. So, like, Pokemon, I like it. But, like, then you see stuff like the Final Fantasies or the Dragon Quest, where it's a medieval setting, magic, and all that, and it's just... a lot of it just kind of looks all samey to me. And I just lose interest. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm probably more like not judging these books by their covers, but like, all the covers kind of just blend in after a while, you know? It kind of sours the whole genre for me to an extent. Not fully, mind you, because again, Mario, Luigi, Pokemon, perfectly fine with those. But like, still, I feel like with an RPG, it might take a little bit more convincing for me to actually want to play it. But if you have a unique art style or a special gameplay gimmick, it at least makes it a little bit easier to convince me. But I'm still not quite there. Nature guesses, I'm gonna say another adamant one, and we'll go bold again, I guess. Also, I got one, adamant! I got one eventually. I guessed a nature. Darren said it was the first thing I said, not the second, but I got it! I guessed a nature, kind of. I did the thing. Undertale? Yeah, I get that. I haven't seen Deltarune's, like, main battle gameplay, but I know about the whole, like, mercy thing in Undertale. Like, not many games do that kind of, like, you either can kill the enemies and get their experience and then turn yourself into a genocidal monster, or you can try to save everybody and be a pacifist, but end up having no HP throughout the entire game. So it's a whole game of dodging everything. It, I guess, kind of becomes a bullet hell at some point with Sans. Kind of scary. I'm not the biggest fan of bullet hells either, so like that's also why I'm not quite there with Undertale either, because like I've seen some gameplay from the dodge like some of the enemy patterns, and yeesh. Mainly for bosses, but yeesh. Alright, let's go ahead and get these moves on them. Let's get Hyperdrill on these two. But yeah, like with some genres, it takes me a little bit more to be convinced to actually play them, you know? If it's a genre I actually, like, I'm already, like, I really like if it's a platformer, like, it's not super hard to convince me to get a platforming game. I like platformers. I played Mario, I played Sonic, I played Crash. Like, I'd love to try Rayman at some point. I play Kirby all the time. Like, it's not hard to convince me to play a platforming game. But the genre, I really like. If it's like a shooter, like, yeah, Call of Duty really doesn't interest me, but I'll play stuff like TF2 or Splatoon. Even though, granted, I probably won't play another Splatoon game, because, like, way too competitive. I don't play TF2 that much either, but, like, there's at least a bit more of, like, a for fun sort of meme factor to TF2. And they do, like, I don't know. Splatoon, outside of the story mode, feels like a lot more just straight competitive to me. I don't know. I will admit the whole gimmick with it being less about actively taking out your opponents and more about just trying to cover ground, literally, that is interesting. You know? With RPGs, you gotta really sell me. You have to really sell me when it's an RPG. And a lot of times, even the classics like Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy VII, I think that's the one everyone likes, even those are like a little bit on the iffy side. I'm like, I don't know. You know? Like some genres, I'm just like, it's a bit rough. Looking at Sans, dude knows if I'm a genocide rap. Dude's gonna give us all a stop from killing everyone. 9 out of times in the game, it's very simple and easy. Still though. 2 segment, and then our second one. Like, it takes a little bit of extra convincing depending on the game genre, you know? It takes a little bit extra depending on the genre. And I will admit, I do want to try to actually diversify it a little bit. Like, I don't play that many puzzle games or anything, but like, I saw my friend Wanye play Professor Layton. A new one's coming out soon. I want to play it. I never got a chance to play that growing up. So like, you know, I don't want to just play platformers or anything. Most of the games were silly, some fun gimmicks and hard bullet patterns. Still though, I'm not willing to frustrate myself with that kind of thing. And at this point, a lot of the goofy stuff has kind of been spoiled for me because the game went super viral. And when games go super viral like that, I feel like it just makes it worse for me for some reason. Like, everyone's selling these super high expectations, you know? I don't want to get in, I don't want to play the game and be like, why are people hyping this up so much? I don't really care for it. Because that's when everything goes to shit. You know? Well, here's a game from a genre you don't play that much. Everyone's going absolutely insane about it, and how it's one of the best games ever made. You know? It's why I've kind of stayed clear of a lot of the super popular games and all that. It's like some oriented genres I'm already kind of iffy with. And then there's the high expectation going in. So I feel like I might be setting myself up for disappointment or being like, I don't get it. And then it's just like, eh. I worry about like committing to a game and then something like that happening, you know? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's because I grew up not playing all the super popular stuff, you know? Maybe it's because of the way I was raised. Like, I wasn't freaking... Like, I was the one person at my school who had a Nintendo thing. And I was constantly made fun for being a baby and playing Mario when everyone else was playing GTA. It's like, eh. I don't know. Like Splatoon, I had a lot of people were like hyping up Splatoon. It felt like, and I tried number 3 because I was the new one. And like, the basic gameplay is fine. I absolutely hate Salmon Run with a passion. I don't know. I just don't vibe with the super competitive nature of it or anything. So I can still admit the game does have its positives, you know. I couldn't quite vibe with it, you know? But I can still kind of appreciate it. I just don't want to get into a scenario where I play a game that everyone seems to hype up, and then I'm just like, okay, and? You know? Especially if it's a game that doesn't really quite interest me. That's a really tough thing. And plus, I see a lot less value in playing stuff like Undertale now, because everyone was talking about it. I've seen a lot of it. And let me tell you something about jokes. When they're repeated, you already know what the joke is. They're not as funny. It's like, I don't know. I'm just kind of iffy about it. Like, I'll put them in the maybe column. But like, look at what happened with Monkey Ball. I remember seeing so many people being super happy about Monkey Ball. I took this time to actually give it a proper shot. And then I played it. And I don't like Monkey Ball. I feel too out of control. And what the game expects you to do, even if 100% isn't required by any means, even just trying to get into some of these stages of the hassle. I gave up in multiple levels of the final world because I was just confused to what to do. And again, I don't have full control of the character. I control a level. It's unique, and people really seem to like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like playing Monkey Ball. I'm scared that will happen again. For a demo? Yes. That's what demos are for. You know, that would actually be an idea for a stream at some point. Like, do you remember demo discs? Like, you'd get like a magazine or something, and there would just be a demo, like a disc of like a few demos and maybe a few like trailers and everything, so you could try out some of these games all at once. Well, now that we have online stores, those like demo discs basically don't exist anymore. You just get the demos individually. I might do a stream, like a series of streams one of these days, where I just download a bunch of demos and just try out games on stream and we'll see what happens, you know? That could be something I do. Because demos, they're free. I don't pay anything, so I don't pay anything, I don't get the full game, I don't have to fully commit. You know? So that could be a thing I do. I'm not doing that for tomorrow's stream because I feel like trying to gather enough demos to make a worthwhile length of a stream would be kind of difficult. So yeah, Delta is probably fine because like isn't the demo like the first chapter or two? Like it's a decent length. And like when I played through Pikmin 4 on stream, I went through the demo for the first stream, and that was enough stuff for the first stream. But not every demo has that much stuff in it. So some demos are over with super quickly. So having to compile enough stuff together to make a full stream's worth of demos might be better than the difficult side. Because again, you have demos that give you a lot of stuff to try out, and then you have stuff like Kirby in the Forgotten Land, where you get like a couple levels, like half of the abilities, and you're done within like half an hour. It depends on how much they're willing to give you. So trying to like organize enough demos together to make a full stream might take a little bit. But I wouldn't mind actually spending some streams trying out some game demos. That sounds like it could be interesting. First two was going to be 7. Delta is quite a bit. That 1 and 2 is all we had for a while, right? For years. Like it's an RPG, so it's hours long. Maybe one of the biggest demos ever. I don't know, but if it was an RPG that's that long, I feel like you kind of have to commit after a while. It feels weird to me. With how much there is. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be a balance, you know? It's strange. Like, the Deltarune demo stuff in its own right could be a stream series in and of itself. It wouldn't really fit with the demo idea I'm going for, you know? Where demos are maybe like an hour long, usually less. You know, there's an idea. There's an idea. Maybe I should make a list. So yeah, until Switch 2, it was just the first 2. Yeah, I know about that. Because it had a whole big thing on the Direct. Everyone lost their minds. It was just kind of funny. The guy and the dog mascots would just be like... 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah! It just falls over. Like, for some reason, that little teaser, like at the beginning for chapters 3 and 4, it gave me like a mix of Dr. Seuss and like proper like mascot suit vibes. It's like the way it moves, how goofy it is. The fact that when it zooms in to show the numbers, it just inexplicably has 4 arms. Just for that little bit, which are the numbers. I don't know. It reminds me of the live-action Cat in the Hat movie, in a good way. You can't say that for many. The marketing, I will say, is top-notch. The marketing is top-notch for these things. Maybe it's just because of the fact that Toby Fox is an indie developer, and therefore it's not as much corporate stuff involved. They can get away, like he can get away with doing a lot more like goofy shit. I don't know. But still. Like I've seen like some like little bits of like newsletters and like websites where you put little joke things in there. It's just kind of goofy. Like you don't see that from big companies. You really don't. One perk of being indie, I guess. you get to be goofy. You don't have any sort of restrictions put on you. So yeah, maybe at some point, if I could get enough demos together, I could do a few streams where I just play through a bunch of demos. That might be something I do in the future. I definitely want to do that with Switch too, because, you know, there's a lot more space to download demos now. Not to mention all of that storage space. Why are your legs feeling storage space? Money, I mean game demos. Like kind of the same idea as like the demo discs back in the day. I got a little inspiration. I kind of had the idea floating around for a while. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to commit to it. Now I feel like I really should. Especially when I get into scenarios where I don't quite know what I want to stream. So I'm like, just pop in a few demos and there you go. Like if I just want to like sit down for a couple hours and just kind of do a little something. Something that's not this, mind you, because like doing this 2 days in a row can get kind of tiring. Like the energy today and last Thursday was crazy because I had so much stuff to talk about. And then there was last Friday, where I was just kind of I did not have this kind of energy with the last time because I talked about everything I wanted to literally the day before, so I had nothing, you know. And plus, I don't think you were there for that one, and chat was super inactive, so I couldn't even have like a conversation with anybody. And that's when these get to be their worst. Like the demo thing. A demo roundup, yeah. With a demo thing, like, the demos could keep me invested, you know? It's not just mindlessly going around in circles looking for shinies. There's actual gameplay happening. And I think this little guy likes that idea. Number 39. I have a bud of mine who sorted Steam for free games or random number generators I want to play. That's a neat idea. Too bad you don't really get that much of an opportunity to do that with like consoles. Like with Steam or mobile devices, free games are pretty much everywhere. Like that's not as much the case with consoles. It feels like definitely not as much. You know, interesting idea. Hey, you! I don't need you, you're a 2-segment gap. Get out of my way, I'm trying to drive! Beep beep. roar button or something. Like, not just sending out your Pokemon. Like, I swear there's a button you could press and you can make Miraidon roar. Is that just me? I swear there was. Like, it's not just this. I swear you can just do that on command. Just the roaring bit. I don't know. Maybe I'm losing it. Maybe after catching 39 shiny Dunsparce, I finally lost it. Whatever. What are you gonna do? See, I don't think I'm gonna do a demo roundup tomorrow or anything. But I think I should have something figured out by then. Something. Because, like, I don't want to do another stream of this tomorrow and just be kind of bored out of my mind because, like, it wasn't like it was like a near full week of shit that happened between them. We're talking only a few hours, and only so much can happen in that time. And usually, not that much. You know? And then what? Like, podcasts are interesting when you have stuff to talk about. And these streams are kind of just podcasts in a way. Because there's not really much happening in terms of what's on screen. It's mainly just me talking. And if I have nothing to talk about, then it's just gonna be super boring. Which again, I brought this up last time too. I don't know how shiny hunters do this because I do it for 2 days in a row and I get freaking sick of it. And I just get tired and I don't want to do it anymore. But you have people who go out of their way for full weeks doing this for hours and hours. Like, I don't know how they do it. You'd think it'd be super exhausting. To an extent it probably is, but some people their lives are based around just doing this. I don't know how they do it. Oh no, we are not. I am not playing Forces on stream. Don't you dare. I don't want to touch Sonic Forces again. Don't get me started on Forces, man. Don't get me started on Forces. The whole game can just be kind of autopilot to be beaten in 2 or 3 hours. One stream I'd be kind of done with it, let's be fair. But like, oh, that would be an agonizing 2 hours. Oh. I don't know what to... I mean, if it's a demo of Sonic Forces, then I'm assuming it's just a couple levels of the game and then it's done. So it's like nothing. It's nothing. So a game is already super infuriating to me, but like 5 minutes of it for 2 hours. It's my own personal hell. It's like, what else could it possibly be, dude? Like, maybe like a little bit of the character creator? That's it? You're not gonna have all the options, and even then, the character creator was very limited in the full game anyway. Even more limiting in the demos. Like, what do you want me to do? What am I gonna do? The first 3 levels have a 1 minute timer to go in. Oh, so it's just playing through the levels then. You can beat almost every level in the game within a minute. And the ones where you can't, they force you into extending the level for some other arbitrary reason. Like the shitty fucking auto-scroller at the end of the classic Sonic. Classic Sonic sucks ass! What the fuck was up with his physics? You guys already had Sonic Generations, and you were using that to boast about like, It's the same team that got you Generations. You like Generations, right? And you didn't bring over the physics? I mean, granted, Sonic Generations physics weren't perfect either. But they were definitely still playable. Classic felt like shit in Forces. Super awkward and heavy for no reason. Ugh. I don't know if they can even feel. Well, the first 3 levels, like, I'm pretty sure they would be. If it's on the very first level of the game, you could easily beat that around a minute. Probably less. Or at least get very close. Like, you might as well just have the full stage available anyway. And even then, you're only playing the game for like a continuous 5 minutes. Stretching that for 2 hours, just putting me in a fucking time loop. No! No! Sonic Forces sucks, man. It is agony to me. It's like everything was wrong with that game. I can't even think of any positives on the top of my head. Can you just answer for a minute? But you get a minute timer in each individual stage, though, right? Surely at least one of them is beatable within a minute. I'm willing to bet, like, if we're talking the first 3 levels, yeah, you totally freaking can. With how autopilot that game is, oh my god. You'd be surprised, man. And the question is, if you beat a stage, will it let you see the results screen? Do they expect you to even get that far? Of course, it's just so... Sonic Forces is the most pathetic, not the most pathetic demo, most pathetic game in this whole series. Maybe because the expectations. Oh, they turned what was basically the basic plot of Saturday into a video game. Eggman's taken over the world, and Sonic and his friends have to make a sort of resistance group to take back the world. Everything's super dark and dire. We might have like a good, proper dark story in Sonic again. And then it's a worse version of Sonic Generations gameplay, mixed with a bare bones character creator, and a story with the same tone as Sonic fucking Colors. What a fucking mood whiplash over here. Sonic is captured and supposedly tortured for 6 months, but it's all explained in a few text boxes, and he still acts perfectly normal when he's freed. He doesn't freaking look like Eggman's been doing anything to him. And the rest of the game is like, oh, da-di-da-di-da, power, friendship, do-do-do-do-do-bop-da. Look at us doing some stupid, funny jokes. We'll make a joke of how Sonic's armpits stink because he gets sweaty when running. That totally fits the tone of Eggman taking over the world and everything being on fire. Mad again. Mad again. Sonic Force just pisses me off entirely. Ah! No Avatar levels did the cutscene? I don't know. I don't remember if the timer freezes for that or not. And I don't want to play the game again to find out. I don't want to touch that game again. Ah. Not even for a little demo, like a little meme stream. Not happening. Never. Never happening. Can't freaking make me, dude. You can't. Nothing stops the jungle timer. But still, never again! I am never playing Sonic Forces again for any reason. I don't care if I said I would at some point earlier. I changed my mind. I'm not playing that shit again. Sonic Forces pisses me off to no end. We got 2 of the sandwich. We have about 6 minutes left. But yeah, not playing Sonic Forces again. Even with how out of ideas I was, how few ideas I have for stream at the moment, Sonic Forces is not even being considered. That game is a betrayal. The word I can use to describe that game is betrayal. It's the only word I think that fits. Not even the music was good in that game, man. Not even the music. Like, even in some of the worst Sonic games, you can usually depend on the music to at least somewhat salvage it, you know? Even Sonic 06 had good music. Forces is either kind of bland or ear-grating. Classic Sonic's music especially, because instead of actually using a good sound font for it, they decided to take the Lego Dimension sound font and push it way further than its limits. It hurts. Ugh. Anyway. Never again. Never again. Never. Anyway. So this sandwich is about done. It's gonna be the last one of the night. And tomorrow I should have something for stream. Something I can do. Just a little something to break up the tedium of just doing this. And then once that's done, I might go back to this for a little bit. And then, you know, maybe I'll figure out a nice long series by then. Yeah. And plus, you know, by the time, like, let's say I play something on NSO, done like 2 or 3 streams. By then, we might figure something out for one year's archipelago thing. So there's that I can look forward to as well. So like, I'll find something. I'll find something to do. Because believe me, I'm not gonna just sit here and do this for months. You know? I'm not gonna just do this for months on end. Trust me. I gotta make this somewhat interesting, you know? And doing this for every single stream for months straight is just going to completely make that not even an option, you know? Even 2 consecutive streams, one Thursday and one Friday, you see how drained I get. At least with, like, between the Friday stream and now, at least stuff happened and I could talk about it. And I could talk about things for a solid 2.5 hours and be fine. No? I don't get that kind of leeway when it's only a day's difference. Not most of the time, anyway. At that point, I kind of have to have the game take over for me. And do a little bit of the lifting there, you know? And this doesn't do that. Shiny hunting, by going around in circles like this, does not do that. So, yeah. It's like, in a week's time, I can have some interesting stories about stuff I find in thrift stores, or things that happen in my daily life, or me getting a Game Boy that doesn't frickin' work and me having to find some way to troubleshoot that thing. Like, if I can get this thing working, that's a week's worth of streams right there. That's a week's worth of streams right then and there with just the 5 games I have. Like, easy. And they're not even like super complex games. They're fairly casual. I could still make that a full week's worth of streams. Maybe even more. And if I track down the rest of the library, we could probably go another week or 2. So like, you know... I have stories and plans about this console. It only happened because of, hey, the stuff that happened this week. And my adventure in trying to troubleshoot a console that no one's ever fucking heard of. You know? I can make that interesting and overlay this basically on top of that. I cannot just have this be the one entertaining factor. I literally just cannot. This can only take me so far on its own. Maybe half an hour, one sandwich, but like, otherwise, it just drags on, and I get super bored and super tired, and it's just like, I have nothing to say, and this is just a kind of monotonous thing. No one's gonna want to watch this. Because believe it or not, I'm not just getting shiny Dudunsparce for myself. I'm doing it for you guys too, because the moment I get that 2 segment, the moment I get that shiny 2, no, the moment I get that shiny 3 segment, I'm gonna pop off so hard. Believe you me. Anyway, make like a PowerPoint presentation of what happened to the console. I don't think I'm cut out for that kind of thing. I already explained my experience with it so far. Like, in like a half-hour time with a sandwich. And the story of the console itself, I can't do it justice. A couple of other channels have, like, delved into the story of the Game Wave itself, and they've done a better job organizing everything and making, like, a compelling story out of it than I ever could. 'Cause I can't do that kind of thing. I'm not a video essay person. I can't pull that off. Maybe I'll have Wanye do it. He probably won't. Yeah. I'm not gonna force him to go through that. He already has everything like spectate in his Discord, being like, well, this console's broken. I don't know what to do. Anyone have any ideas? And everyone's like, no. And one is like, I live in the Netherlands. I have no idea what the fuck any of this thing is. I'm just like, I figured. This thing never went to Europe, Canada, the United States, and then a few years later, India. I don't get it either. Anyway, the last nature guesses, I'm gonna guess lonely and shy. I think shy is one of them. Let's see. We'll go ahead and put the proper move on while I'm here. I always will forget. So I've been doing that a lot lately. You have to have the move on or it won't evolve when you level it up, so. Impish and bashful. Dang. Alright. Time to level these 2 up. Will either of these be our 3 segment? Nope. Not that one. And number 2. Will you be our 3 segment? No. Okay. Brandon, 1 in 100 chance. It was not likely. Well, you know when the day comes where I finally get it. 30 here, there's 38, and I have 2 on me. One that I think I fully leveled up for a raid battle, and then one with the birthday marks that I want to keep. Okay, so this is the right number then. We are the right number. So, with that, that's gonna be it for stream. That's one button. I want to do the emote thing. Is that left? Nope. That's the outfit change. There we go. Up. So that's gonna be it for stream today. Next time I'm sure to have something. I have not necessarily posted in forever. No. There we go. A nice goodbye wave. There we go. So, yeah, that's gonna be it for this stream. Tomorrow I'll figure out something. Not quite sure what. In the meantime, I'll try to get some more information about the game wave to see if I can maybe fix it. If it is just the power supply needing to be replaced, then, well, that's gonna take a few days for the power supply to actually get shipped here and everything. And plus, I've never done any sort of, like, hardware modifications or repair, so this is a new experience for me in general. And even then, I'm not even sure that's the problem with it. So I'm not going to fully commit to getting a power supply if that's not the problem. But I don't know anything about this console, and this thing is so freaking niche. There's barely any info online. I brought up in a couple other random Discord servers, and someone's like, hope you just get lucky to find like a maintenance PDF somewhere. Like that's ever gonna happen. I don't know, dude. Try not to burn your house down. Don't worry, everything's unplugged. There will be no sparks flying. I promise you that. I'll be careful. I'm already too scared to remove the power button. Like, there's like a little thing on it that attaches like, the power button to some sort of like interface or something. Like, attach it and the light to like a little chip or something, and that connects to the rest of the main console. I'm scared to attach that just to get the case off of the thing all the way. I'm scared to do that. Because I don't want to break this thing any further than it's already broken and be unable to fix it, you know? Technology is very delicate. Even if it's something from 15 years ago. Honestly, kind of especially if it's 15 years ago. Anyway, that's gonna be it for tonight. In the meantime, I gotta get the Terra Baxcalibur yet. The event's currently on my Switch. I gotta get that. I think it's Baxcalibur right now. And it's off doing a little bit more research on the game wave itself and what to do about this issue. And then trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to stream tomorrow, because it's probably not going to be this. So, with that, I'm going to end stream. I'm going to go have some leftover birthday cake. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Wish me luck in my endeavors to hopefully sort out the issues with this console. And wish me luck in finding something interesting enough for tomorrow. See you guys.